Bridget Hom here with Bridge to Freedom Coaching. If you want to level up your life, you want to listen to Time to Shine Today podcast with my friend Scott Ferguson.
Time to Shine Today podcast, Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and today we are all about becoming our own empowerment generator. And we do that, and we're going to have some awesome knowledge nuggets and tips dropped on us by my really good friend, Bridget Hom. And I actually butchered her name. I was calling her Hom, and I'm sorry, Bridget, if you're listening. It's Bridget Hom, and she's just a rock star. She's got the company Bridge to Freedom Coaching, and I make warm introductions to her whenever I can because she's just fantastic. Her passion for helping others and really just being present with them was so apparent. So without further ado, make sure you break out your notebooks because I had 2 pages of notes just in our 20-minute conversation. So again, sit back, relax, because here comes my really good friend, Bridget Hom from Bridge to Freedom Coaching. Let's level up. Time to Shine Today podcast, Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and I got my kind of homegirl because she decides not to live here in the Palm Beaches for a lot of the time. She has her reasons, but I know that she likes to make her way back down, and she says that she's physically in Indiana, but her mind is in the Palm Beaches, which I can't wait to have her back. Her name is Bridget Hom. We met, I think it was through Frank Agent, but it might have been, I might have reached out to her through different channels. Frank is a fantastic friend of mine, and so is Bridget, and she's a connectivity coach at Bridge to Freedom Coaching. So think about that's a planned word, Bridge to Freedom Coaching, who helps entrepreneurs and leaders in their industry to take control of their mindset, level up, she stole that from me, in how they do their personal and professional relationships and break free from the sales pitch. Bridge to Freedom Coaching is all about creating a culture of connectivity and help others to become their own empowerment generator. And Bridget, thank you so much for coming on the Time to Shine Today and talk to our squad. Can you introduce yourself? But first, what's your favorite color and why?
I gotta say, my favorite color is white because it just gets me into see this white blazer right here?
Love it.
Gets me into the zone for some reason. I don't know. It's bright. It makes me feel energetic.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say this color
it's
works.
lame, but
you think this works for me? Look at this jacket. Come on.
It's lame, but it's in your color wheel, so it's all good. so let's get to the little bit of origin story from Bridget Hom to Bridge to Freedom and how this all kind of started.
Oh my gosh, I would love to tell you that story. How real and raw do you want me to get?
It is real and raw as you can.
Oh,
that's what we love to hear.
So when I was a child, no, we're just going to start from the professional beginnings. So I started in ministry. My number one goal was to empower people on their journey of discernment to develop who they were supposed to be when it came to their spiritual lives.
Okay.
And so it started with that, but I noticed I was casting a wide net, and I noticed I was starting to say things like, ministry is just marketing, guys. And they're like, what? You can't say that. That's sacrilege. And I'm like, right. No. You have a message, you have a product, so to speak, and you want to say it in such a way that you communicate effectively to your target market, and they want what you have, right?
Right.
And so they're like, hey, Bridget, this isn't how we roll. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm in the wrong career field. And so I ended up becoming a legal news reporter. Right. And fast forward, domestic engineer for 10 years with 3 amazing boys, who I lovingly call my little savages because, with boys, everything's primary needs or sports. Like that's right. Pretty much, my life, food and sports. And then in my other professional life, it's all about coaching. And so I combined, the PR experience, the ministry experience, a lot of my skill set as a domestic engineer really does serve me as well and serves my clients. And, being a mom, you really do have to do excellent time management. Excellent conflict resolution. What else? You have to really empower people well so that they develop the right mindset and the confidence they need to succeed in life. I write that on my resume, but no one's looking to hire me based on my resume anymore. It's more about, this and the words that I say so
Right.
that can help people to level up. Hey, by the way, great minds think alike. I
That's right.
totally didn't know that you had that, but I love it. I love that we say it because we really want everyone to level
We
up in
do.
some way.
Absolutely.
So,
Mm.
so that led into the coaching world. I decided that since I was coaching people anyway, I mean, I'd be literally walking out of Publix with my kids or any grocery store, and they'd be like, how can I change my life? Like, what should I really be doing? And my kids are like, Mom, can we get in the car? Can you not just talk to everybody that we come across? Like, please. And I'm like, listen, I'll be right there, eat some gummies. And I just need to talk to her for 1 second. And I'm giving, people around me action steps
Yes.
and
Love it.
helping them to realize that there's so much more. They have limitless potential and they're the only ones standing in their way. So it's kind of like who I am, and I also do coaching. So it's a combination of those two things.
So what do you think makes a great coach then?
Mm, that's a great question. Well, there are so many coaches today, and what really makes a good coach is empowerment, is the ability to create a space of radical self-acceptance for the person in front of them, for the potential client, anyone, a group of people, a Zoom networking call, anywhere. Um, the best coach creates a space where people are able to look at themselves and
So,
really able to
so
flesh
you
that out.
said it's the empowerment, the ability to create space for people to really level up into what they're probably born to be. They just have so many blind spots that they're not able to be it.
Are you coaching me right now? Because
No, but I'm asking you.
yes, absolutely. 110%. Yes, because here's the deal. We are lacking the space of radical self-acceptance. We are lacking that space and that time that we don't give ourselves to really explore our opportunities and who we are. And are we in the right career field? Are we
Wow.
doing what we're supposed to do? Are we being who we're supposed to be? So I like to create that space of radical self-acceptance because that is the foundation where you can build on. You can't just build on this potential, this idea without meeting yourself where you're at and getting aware.
I love it. And everything starts with self-awareness. I know that and your core values and whatnot. So what is maybe some of your secret sauce then when you're starting in a discovery time with one of your prospective clients or coaching clients to help them find their blind spot?
It's all about the question.
Okay.
It's all about asking the right questions. Oftentimes when I meet with people for one-on-ones or potential clients, I say, I'm curious, what was your thought when you were thinking about this time that we were going to spend together?
Love
Because
it.
everyone shows up in an expectation.
Right.
Everyone
Right.
shows up with an idea of how they want things to go.
Okay.
So that's how I'm able to meet people right where they're at in their thought process.
Love it. So what then is that's how we put this. What then is there any good question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
Typically, no. I mean, when people meet with me, one of my gifts is allowing them to be who they are authentically.
Mhm.
But I love, sometimes you step people into the right questions.
Right.
A good coach has the ability to read people's internal terrain, their thoughts, feelings, emotions, and walk them down the trail that you want them to go down so that they can explore and go into that self-discovery. So some great questions are, what is the goal? To
Okay.
really get people finely tuned in figuring out the next question they want to ask you. What is the
Love it.
goal of our time together? What is the
Gotcha.
goal of our time together?
Right. And basically ask your coach like what is expected of not only of me, but also of the outcome. That's
Yeah,
one
right.
thing because that's what I hope. Or else ask the coach, hey, tell me about a fail. So let's go that route. Tell us about one of your fails in life.
One of my fails?
Let's say you're learning. You never lose. I say this, I never lose. I either win or I learn. So like tell us about one of your fail forwards.
So that's a great question because what I've shared with people when they feel like they failed is that every experience you've ever had has added value in some way. It's either
Right.
added to the mentality that this is what I don't want to experience again. It's given you a different skill set, maybe with your conflict resolution skills. It's giving you a new direction that's inspired you to where you're at today. Another couple of questions that I ask is, what are you experiencing that you don't want to be experiencing right now?
Sure.
What is your vision for what you want your life and business to look like? So failing forward, I mean, honestly, I help people, and I see it this way as well. When I look at life and the timeline of life, I don't see these points of, okay, this section was failure. This section was success.
Hmm.
This section was just focusing on improving and leveling up. I see it as everything on this timeline has added value to me in some way, and I have added value to it, whether it be the people in my life, whether it be the experiences in my life. And so the goal when becoming your own empowerment generator, which is what I do in the Find Your Freedom program, the Find Your Freedom experience, and mindset and consulting sessions, is always focusing on adding value.
Love it.
Always focusing on adding value to your and shifting your perception and seeing that you've had everything in your life has added value to you in some way.
It does. Yes.
Right?
Everything is. Everything is adding value, whether you want to know it or accept it or not. Thank you for saying that. So then, who has made the most profound impact in Bridget's life?
Oh my gosh. That's a great question. Who has made the most profound impact in my life? I would say every single person that I meet, even the clients that I've worked with, have added value to me. But I will say there's one person in particular that I'm thinking of right now.
Scott Ferguson.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. No.
Like, when Scott Ferguson said, it's time to level up, I'm like, I need to steal that from him.
I love you.
Make that my catchphrase. But honestly, great minds think alike. I said that in a Zoom business meeting, my first one back in I think it was April. Epic Business Networking was my first ever Zoom business networking meeting, and I had no idea how I was going to start pitching myself in the Zoom business networking world. And I said, Bridget Hom here with Bridge to Freedom Coaching. Are you ready to level up?
I love it.
That's really how it started. I go, what did I just say?
I love it. People don't know, but leveling up, when I started saying it, like I've said it a long time, and it started as a joke because my buddies are gamers. And they'd be like, let's level up. And I'm like, you guys sit here. I'm going to go out my paddleboard. You guys sit here and level up.
Yeah,
right. Wait a minute, man. Leveling up is kind of cool thing to say. So
in answering your question,
go ahead.
I met someone salsa dancing, and he goes, "Hey, Bridget, I have a business idea." And this was pre-COVID. We're just going to start saying everything pre-COVID, post-COVID, that's going to be the timeline. And he goes, Bridget, I have a business idea for a placement agency. And I said, okay, fantastic. I want to know more about that. And I would like to do this with you. So we developed a partnership. And since I hadn't been in the business world for a long time, I said, what do I do when I go into these networking meetings? What does this look like? And he gave me the best advice I've ever received. And he goes, Bridget, this is the only thing I ever want you to do in any business consultation with any client, anywhere we go. I want you to just be you.
Yeah. Be authentic. Show up as that authentic self, right? That's it. Yeah. So all right. So you just got great advice. Let's go to, what's the worst advice you've ever been given?
I feel like I just canceled that from my area, like Tom Cruise talks about in Scientology. The worst advice I've ever been given, probably don't trust your intuition.
Yeah, like don't be yourself. So you just
don't be yourself. Just do the exact opposite of what you feel is the next right thing.
Love it. So you've seen the movie Back to the Future, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's go back and hop in that DeLorean with Michael J. Fox or Marty McFly. And let's go back to the 20-year-old Bridget Hom. It might not have been home then, but let's go back to 22-year-old Bridget Becker. Let's go back to the B squared, the B2, Bridget Becker. Let's go back to the 22-year-old Bridget. What kind of knowledge nuggets are you dropping on her to help her level up, shorten that learning curve, and blast through maybe a little quicker?
Oh my gosh, what an interesting question. Since I'm such a proponent of the journey makes you, I would say I actually just spoke in front of some college students, and what I told them, because around that age, you're trying to figure everything out. Just because you weren't a business major does not mean you're not business minded.
Right.
And so I would say that that's the most profound thing to tell, 22-year-old Bridget. Just because you weren't a business major does not mean you're not business minded.
It's like stay open, but when you're stuck, like my good friend Leah Woodford would say, like get your asking gear, right? Ask for the help. Just because you're not minded, get your asking gear, right? Am I saying that correctly for you?
I love
Awesome.
it. Yeah,
I
I
love
love
it.
it. It's all about those questions.
Bridget, how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, your life date and death date. How do you want Bridget's dash remembered?
Bridget had a romance with life.
Dude, that is an awesome
Boom.
awesome answer, man. That's fantastic.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you do. You're so vibrant, you're fun, you're likable. It's just awesome. So what do you think people misunderstand? What's that? You like me? You really like me? What's the thing that people might misunderstand the most about Bridget?
Well, I will say that, people are like, okay, she cannot be this authentic. Like, there's just no way. No, I'm like, literally, I'm like, well, I just shared with you that my son walked in on a Zoom naked. Like, no, I am this authentic. This is just real. This is you meet with a Bridget. When I tell people I'm like coaching, listen, you're getting a coach, but you're also getting a Bridget. I'm
Right.
going to share with you any experience that has benefited me that can possibly help you level up. Like, that's it. So they're like, no, you can't be this authentic. I'm like, really? What do you want to know?
Yeah.
Let me help you break this limiting belief for yourself.
I love that. And it's like, there was a movie back in, I think it was 2000. It was called Van Wilder. It was a National Lampoon movie. It's one of Ryan Reynolds' first movies.
Yes.
And
Love him.
He said in there that I live to this day is like, don't take life too seriously. You'll never make it out alive. And so like when people meet me, they're like, Fergie, you're the biggest goofball. I'm like, dude, unless I'm under contract with a client and representing them, I am the biggest goof in the world. I'm not self-deprecating and I don't put people down, but dude, I like to have fun and tease and just, and that's authentic for me. I like when people show up fake authentic, it doesn't bug me, but I just don't think that they're, like you would say, being able to give gift yourself a shift because you don't really know what you are. So be who the frick you are. And let that shine, right? I mean, that's where people have it. So, Bridget, what is your definition of a life well lived?
A life well lived. Well, obviously, it's having a romance with life. It's having a romance with your life and your business. Something that I really enjoyed being a domestic engineer for about a decade. Yeah. And what it really taught me was some amazing skills that are missing in the business world oftentimes. Like, for example, we get so caught up in this business in a box, like these expectations of how we need to show up when we meet with people. And so what I say is, take the relationship out of your, take the business out of your relationship and your relationships will bring you business. Really, really level it up and start realizing that when you're doing business, you're meeting with people. When you're talking about, money, you're talking about value. When you're talking about marketing, you're talking about your messaging. And this is what I teach in, the Find Your Freedom experience launching March 16th. It's going to be that group coaching experience where we level up, create a culture of connectivity in your business and your life, and you become your own empowerment generator, and where you really start to manifest those powerful shifts that are going to be game changing in terms of your communication in your network, with your potential clients, even in your personal life.
Love it. I love it. So, yeah. So you said take the business out of the relationships, and the strong relationships will bring you business. Is that what you're saying? I'm okay. Absolutely. All right.
You go into why do you like that?
I love it. I'm totally going to steal it and hack that and not give you absolutely any credit at all. For it. I'm just kidding. I love it. You said on the video that you posted a couple days ago, maybe, or yesterday, about gift yourself a shift. And I love that. It's like, I remember when I was going through a hard time and the real estate market crashed and stuff like that, and everything was shift. Now it's like pivot. I call it shivot. I just had to throw that out there, because it's kind of all mixed there. And hey, time to shine today. Podcast Varsity Squad. We're back with my awesome friend, Bridget Hom from Bridge to Freedom Coaching. And Bridget, we have a leveling up lightning round. You and I could literally probably talk 2 hours on every one of these questions, but you got 5 seconds for an answer with no explanations. You ready to level up?
Oh, 100%.
Let's do this. All right, let's level up. What is the best leveling up advice Bridget's ever received?
Empower others and they will empower you.
Yes. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Salsa dancing.
Yes. Other than your own website, which I'm going to put that out here at bridge2freedomcoaching.com. And of course, timetoshinetoday.com, a shameless plug. What other website do you like to go to level up?
Timetoshinetoday.com. Obviously.
You liar, but I love you anyways. So if you see me, I'm walking, I'm feeling, you're like Fergie's in his doldrums. Like, Fergie, read this book. What book are you handing me?
Ooh. I love If You Want to Walk on Water, you got to get out of the boat.
That is an awesome book. It's a really not well-known book, but I did read that. It was actually given to me by someone at Christ Fellowship here in Palm Beach Gardens. So I did read that. So Bridget, what is your most commonly used emoji?
Heart.
Heart? Love it. Love it. So don't freaking lie to me right now. But if you could physically, don't cross your fingers either. If you can physically stay one age for the rest of your life and keep the experience you've gained and continue to garner new knowledge, what age physically would you stay?
35.
I love it. At least you put a 3 in front of it, because I'm coming up on 50 and it's like I would take 28 to 32 all day, just because the way I can get out of bed, it was a lot different. Anyways, last question, or no, got a couple more. Like, what's your favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time or money to?
Catholic Charities.
Love it. Love it. And is it your, I'm going to break my own rule. Is it so they forgive you a little bit for, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love you. I love you. So last question, you can elaborate on this. What is the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
90s.
90s. All right, cool. I like 90s and the 80s. Like, they're my 2 jams. So Bridget, how can we find you, my friend?
Well, honestly, bridge2freedomcoaching.com. I have a section at the bottom that says, how do you want to level up?
Okay. Awesome.
LinkedIn, or you could shoot me an email, bridget.hom@gmail.com.
Got it.
Shoot me a text. I want to know you. I want to get to know you. 561-676-1321.
Awesome. And you guys just spam the heck out of that number.
Yeah, there
awesome.
you go, right?
Okay, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. You're going to be dealing with me. So talk to me about the expectation to find your freedom and what's going on March 16th.
So March 16th is a 6-week group coaching experience. Okay. So we're going to launch. It's going to be a powerful time where you're going to get your questions answered as well, but we're going to do an hour of coaching. It's going to be like a power coaching hour, launching March 16th, which is a Tuesday at 7 p.m., 7 to 8:30 p.m. for 6 weeks, where I'm going to help people take control of their mindset with some creative, inspired strategies and level up in how they do their personal and their professional relationships, and then give them some amazing shifts to level up in how to break free from giving the sales pitch, but more importantly, how to help your client from receiving the sales pitch, because you want to break them free from that expectation so that you are differentiating yourself in your market. So that's what it's going to be about.
I love it. And where can we find that?
Honestly, find me on LinkedIn, Bridget Hom.
Okay, they can find that on there. The Find Your Freedom.
Yes, it's perfect. Eventbrite, and right now it's still open. It's still open for registration.
Gotcha. Beautiful. Beautiful. So do me one last huge, super awesome favor and leave us with one last knowledge nugget that you want us to take with us, internalize, and take action on.
Ooh. Invest in yourself and others will start investing in you.
Wow. Love it. Also, in Squad, we just had an awesome free masterclass with my partner in leveling up, Miss Bridget Hom. She started on a spiritual journey, but she knew that she was casting a wider net. They didn't really sit on the same page. So she went out and really followed her dreams and really wanting to help people. She gives until it hurts so good. She was a domestic engineer. It's funny, in real estate, being a real estate agent for 22 years now, people will come and say, I'll ask them, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm a housewife. No, you're a domestic engineer, because there's so much that goes into that. So she stole that from me as well, because I'm older than her. So I can say that. She wants you to let you know that there is limitless potential in you, and the only one standing in the way is you. That empowerment is the ability to create space to notice your blind spots. She wants you to have a radical self-acceptance and know that that is the key to explore your possibilities and other responsibilities. She'll say, ask yourself, not only have your coach ask you powerful questions, expect that, but ask yourself powerful questions every day. I always liken it to, if you're driving down the road and you make a left and you have to turn that blinker on, that's a freaking question. You're asking yourself, level up the questions you ask yourself, and you just watch what you create for yourself. She wants you to add value to your life timeline. She wants you to enjoy the journey. And she's going to be remembered as someone that had a romance with life. She wants you to take the business out of relationships, and the relationships that you build will bring that into your business. She wants you to invest in yourself, because when you do that, other people will invest in you. And she wants you to be your own empowerment generator. And Bridget, you're my beautiful friend. If you're watching on YouTube, she looks like Megan Fox, which she's one of my favorite actresses. And she levels up her health. She levels up her wealth. She's humble yet hungry. I'm so blessed that we carved this time out to come on. She's not only a good friend, but she's someone that I really respect. And thank you so much, Bridget, for coming on.
Thanks for having me. This has been awesome.
You're welcome. Love your guts. I'll talk to you soon.
Mwah.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today podcast. Proudly brought to you by Sutter & Nugent Real Estate Excellence, who can be reached at 561-249-7266 and online at www.sutterandnugent.com. If you are a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on Time to Shine Today, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also there, you will see our recommended resources. We hope that you will support our show by supporting them. If you like what you've been listening to, it'd be great if you could just give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, and until next time, let's level up. It's our time to shine.